Hi, this is Just a this time.
It
And
is.
I get to do the opening. Hi there. Welcome to this.
I love it. This is great. This is great. Yes, this is Just the Disc. We're doing an impromptu live show. Me and my good friend, Mr. Aaron Pinn. Thank you for letting me do this, Aaron. On your channel, we're streaming live right now, and this is going to be fun. I think.
See, people think this is only 10 seconds late. It's actually 5 minutes and 10 seconds late because I had this done for 5 minutes ago before, but I sneakily edited it because I was making tea.
Well done. Well played. I love the magic of that kind of stuff, man. So yeah, I don't know if how many people are going to show up. I just put out the link. I'll retweet it from Just the Discs. But regardless, it doesn't matter because I just wanted to talk to you about what we've been watching and just kind of catch up. Do some Blu-ray talk. I've been wanting to come on your channel a long time. I just happened to take a day off today, and I was like, what else can I get done? I'd love to talk to Aaron. This is going to be a blast.
I appreciate that too. All my days are now days off because this is my gig. So
well, that's the other thing. I'd love to help promote the fact that this is your gig, and people should be joining your Patreon, which I'll leave a link to in my podcast link when I do this as a podcast. Yeah, people should be. I think people know they should be following you, but this is whatever I can do to help boost that signal. I'm happy to do.
I truly appreciate it. One thing I got to ask you right away is I didn't get a chance to do this, but I know a lot of my viewers did. Did you dive into the Severn Well this week?
I didn't yet. I didn't. So you have to tell me what the highlights are. I've been just kind of catching up on a lot of podcast stuff and Just the Disc stuff. So I haven't really, I've missed all the news this week, really, basically.
They've been selling out all their DVD stuff from anywhere from like $1 to $3 to $5, even the brand new stuff at $7. And a lot of stuff is selling out like crazy. I went in thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll get something because this was my final paycheck day.
Oh, shit.
But it is what it is, right? So the guys, anyway, there's a donation link in the content.
Yes, please use the donation link, folks.
But yeah, I've had people on there that said, yeah, because I did a live stream on it. And they were like, okay, so I bought 39 Severn DVDs, about like 45. So yeah, it's been going crazy. Yeah, Dustin has so many DVDs coming because of me. I actually looked into it. I would have to buy $125 worth to get the free shipping. And it's worth it for the free shipping because, and it would have been around 45 DVDs.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's cool, actually, for that price.
Sorry, I'm just checking out the chat right now. Michael Keene, first in line. Very nice that Michael's here. Dustin, Dig Films, Couch Odyssey, and Ryan, Disconnected, is joining us. Scolder, too. Very nice. This is all very cool that so many folks jumped on just impromptu. Very nice.
I really appreciate it, especially since I did it all. I was like, he was like, do you want to do a video? And I'm like, okay, well, let's go.
Yeah, I totally sprung it on him, and he jumped into action. What do you have to do you have some Blu-rays you want to pull out? I got a bunch of stuff here I can talk about.
Not pull out more than less, but I do have some stuff that I can talk about. A lot of my stuff is packed, so a lot of stuff now is in the is of the streaming variety.
Oh,
now,
that's cool.
Started on this.
Oh, very nice.
Which is really cool. So this has gotten me by Dustin, who is right here in the chat right now.
Oh, thank you, Dustin. That's really nice. So that's for folks that are listening to this version, it's the Anaconda set from 88 Films.
Yep. So it's the 4-volume set. Now, what's different about this is that they left in the poster, because this is the second printing of the set. They left in the poster, they left in all the cards, and they left in a booklet of pictures. But they took it the features.
Oh,
which, though we're considering it's Anaconda, it's the movies that you want. And also, if you I'm not sure if you got this or not.
I did.
Did you get the original or did you get this one?
You know what? That's a good question. It's over there somewhere. I think
the original folds out, and I didn't like the artwork so much.
Oh, okay.
So when this one came out, I was actually really surprised because Dustin didn't tell me this was coming. So basically, it came to my door, and I woke up and came on here because I'm like, okay, now I can make live unboxing videos again. And I was so just awake doing this.
Oh, that's super cool. I wish I knew which one I have. I I thought it was the first issue of it, but it looks a lot like the one you have. So I'm not actually sure. I can run over and grab it in a minute. But
The first one has a gray, kind of like almost like a paperish type cover with a picture of an anaconda. When you open it up, it kind of comes out into 4. And then with this one, with the anaconda second release, you actually get this. So you actually get like actual discs and like disc holders.
I think I got that one. I think I got that one.
Because it's anaconda, I mean, like, how much do you need to know about the fact that there's big snakes? You want to watch it and have fun and have some friends and like just have a cheesy time with it.
Did you see Michael's comment?
Of course, yeah. And you know what?
Classic Michael.
That's why Dustin knows, right? Dustin knows about Aaron's anaconda. There you go. That's what's wrong. Oh my God. You're probably gonna have to put that out.
It's all good. No, it's all good. I will start with the Wicker Man.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, unfortunately, really kind of pricey, but I did a video about it that I'm going to post next week. So this is sort of a preview for that. But yeah, I mean, this is the Imprint Films, a Wicker Man Blu-ray. Got their great. I love their boxes. I don't know how you feel about these boxes, but
I love them actually.
Yeah. So it's really sturdy cardboard, of course, and it's got multiple versions of the film. You have your final cut version, which is, in terms of the length, is the middle. And then you have, on this disc, you have the theatrical and director's cut being the longest. And then you also have special features and a soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And it's interesting, too, because I was going through some of the features. And, for instance, Kim Newman is on, let's see here. Kim Newman is on the theatrical version. He does a commentary with author Sean Hogan, and their take is that the extra footage that you get in the other cuts is not necessary, that you don't need it. And they might be right, I don't know, but then of course you listen to the Christopher Lee commentary with Edward Woodward and Robin Hardy, the director, and they totally missed that footage, of course, and they want it in there. So I'm really torn as to which version to even recommend. I don't know, but you get 3 versions, so that's pretty great.
Well, the thing is, though, you don't have to choose, right? You got them all.
That's right. No, it's really the ultimate set for this movie, and yeah, Imprint is killing it, man. I don't know. I wish it was easier for folks to get these, and they were a little bit cheaper. But for the quality of the stuff they're doing, I mean, yes. I can't say I'm disappointed in it, So it's pretty solid, man. It's pretty solid stuff.
No, what they do is insanely great. I just wish I gotta see if I can get in contact with Imprint to see if I can get anything set my way, because I would love to review some of their stuff. Michael said it should have came in a wicker box.
He's right.
Actually, the Anchor Bay edition came in a wooden box.
Yeah, the wooden box set. I remember those before the tins, before they were doing or part of the tins set. If people remember those, like the Repo Man tin and the I can't remember the other tins that they did, the DVD sets. But yeah,
ton of tins. Like Anchor Bay did like the Hellraiser 1 and 2, Halloween 4, got one, Halloween 5 got a tin. I got the Halloween 5 tin actually.
Oh, and nice.
Actually, I should brought that over because I watched that last night.
You watched Halloween 5 last night?
Yeah, I did actually. I dig the Halloween films, and my Halloween Blu-ray sets are packed away. But I've got the tin with the limited edition with the big like long tin. So I put that on last night because that's not packed yet.
Oh, nice.
So I was watching that and remembering that, yeah, the mask is way better than part 4, even though I love part 4. The mask is so much better than what they did in part 4.
What's the difference between the mask in 4 and 5 right now? I can't remember.
The mask in 4, if for a lot of it, like you see, it's a bait and switch with part 4, because when I went to see it in theater, there was like this picture of like this Halloween like looking mask from the first film on the poster, and you get in there and you're like, this is not the mask. This is not the mask you're looking for. It's so different. It's a white mask. And in one sequence, there's like kind of white hair on the mask. So when you're watching Halloween 4 and you're going to the part where they're into the school, and kind of Michael comes after them. He's wearing white. He's got white hair, so it looks like Ben Tramer's coming after them. Ben Tramer's come back from the dead, because it doesn't look like the Halloween mask.
Oh shoot! I just rewatched those when the 4Ks came out, and I totally forgotten 4 completely, and I don't know if I got to 5. I'm not sure if I made it there.
5 is fun. I mean, 4 is really good. I mean, I like 4. 4 has Dwight Little. So Dwight Little is really good when it comes to doing this stuff. I liked Rapid Fire, which is with Brandon Lee, and I really, really dug this one.
Yeah,
But
no,
part 5,
he's
watching
great.
last night over again, I thought I was going to hate it because Tina, but then I remembered Tina's really freaking cute. And although there's annoying parts of it, it's not usually her. Like people say, well, Tina's super annoying. No, Dr. Loomis is off the rails insane in part 5. He's like, let me attack that little girl. Let me bring her to her house. And for some reason, the Myers house has now become a gothic mansion. It's not a normal house. It's a gothic ass mansion with there's a sequence where she's going down this chute, this laundry chute. And I thought, oh, well, interesting. I wonder how they did that. And I was looking at the stuff about it. And no, they had her go down this laundry chute. Dangerous as hell. But they had the little girl, Danielle Harris, do that sequence.
Oh, wow.
So it was different. Part 5 is fun, though. It's a lot of fun. It's weird. And it has what I like to call the Dick Tracy ending. Because you have he comes in with a Tommy gun, because of course he does. Why not? Starts shooting up the police station. We see it in silhouette like Dick Tracy, and I'm expecting like Dick Tracy or Breathless Mahoney or something to come up, but I did. I had a lot of fun with them.
Wow, I gotta get back into those. I was really in when the 4Ks came out. I'm like, okay, this is my opportunity to dig back into these, and I got a good run going with the family. And then I think something, as usual, just other stuff came up, and I couldn't get all the way through them. So
it's worth it. They're so fun. Even part 6.
That's another one I haven't seen in forever. I did go forward myself and watch H2O, I think.
Yeah.
Which I like. Okay. I didn't rewatch Resurrection. Yeah, I wanted to go all the way through them, but I can't go on a 6-film run because I always get distracted with something else.
Resurrection is worth the rewatch for Busta alone, because
Okay.
Busta is the best part of that entire film. However, if you're watching these with family, skip the Rob Zombie ones. Oh my god! I'm I know there's some people that love those, but I'm not one of those people. Especially when you're looking at the director's cut of part 1, I'm like, there's no need for what they do in the director's cut of part 1.
Yeah, no, I just can't. I can't do those films, man. They're not for me at the end of the day, just not my bag. But I get that they have their fans, but yeah, I'd much rather go into the original franchise stuff and sort of dive back in at some point, One of the other ones that I just watched and did a video about is Girls Night Out, while we're on the slasher topic. Yeah, no, this is really cool. This is the new Arrow Blu-ray of Girls Night Out, and it's got that warning at the top that says, essentially best materials, they had to do multiple probably I can't remember, it was collector prints. It says brand new 2K restoration from 35 millimeter vault elements. So it may not have been collector prints, might have been actual prints from distributors, but it was the kind of mix and match policy. So it's not pristine, but it certainly looks better than the Shriek. I think it was Shriek Show DVD, maybe.
I think the last time I've seen it, to be all honest, these on VHS.
Oh, really? Oh, well, that's
on the VHS was a hard box.
This is going to be a big step up. Then this looks really good, and it's got a great commentary from Amanda Reyes and Justin Kurzweil from Hysteria Continues.
So it's be great then. But the commentaries are great.
Yeah, no, they're great, and you might have read this book, but they recommend a book in the commentary called Blood Money by somebody Noel. I'm blanking on his name right now, but I just started reading it. I just ordered it as soon as they talked about it, and it's about the history of the slasher boom in the early 80s, and it's sort of from the business point of view. It sounds like it's trying to paint things, I think, in the less cynical way of people ripping each other off, and more this is what was selling at the time, and this is why they did it, and approach it from a business point of view and how much the movie's made and all kinds of stuff. So it's a really interesting book. So not only is it a good movie and a good commentary, but I got a book recommend out of it too.
It's a fantastic book. I've read the book. I used to own it.
Nice.
It got lost in the move.
Oh, no.
There's a whole box of things that got lost in my last move. And that was one of the things. But I remember I read the book around I read 2 to 3 times. When I
Nice.
like
I should have
something,
known. I should have
dive
known you'd read it.
but I dig that type of stuff. I'm like books are the best special feature that you guys can get. You know, there's lots of special features on movies, but you get these books on the films that are right there. Those Giallo things, things are put out by Troy Haworth, by Stephen Thrower, by Amanda Reyes. All those guys, they put out amazing books. Read them because that's where you really get the real deep dive information at. And a talking head interview can only tell so much, but there's so much more to learn.
Yeah, no, you're right. And again, like I said, I shouldn't be surprised that you've read it 2 or 3 times. For whatever reason, I have Carol J. Clover's book, Men, Women, and Chainsaws, and I've read that. But this is another text that a lot of people recommend for slasher fans, and I should have heard of it before. So I'm sure you've talked about it in your channel probably at some point. And
I probably haven't actually because the books, unfortunately, are something that I haven't talked about until recently.
Oh, cool.
But that's actually a good topic idea. You know,
I was going to say you should do more books because you obviously knew about that one before I did. So, what?
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, what else are you watching?
Well, I just recently watched, rewatched really, the documentary, the Woodland Dark Days, the one that's Severn.
I still haven't watched it ridiculously enough, and I've only heard it's great.
It's really good. It starts out really neat. Kayla Janice did it. I got it there. I pronounced her name right. I did a whole video, mispronouncing her name once. That's actually horrible about.
It's a hard name to pronounce. When you look at it, it's not spelled the way it sounds.
No, I know.
So
I have to hear Kayla though. That's the problem.
Yeah,
there's a Kayla in my classroom. It's great. I mean, like if you know what Kayla is, if you've seen the documentary Celluloid Horror, which I 1,000,000% recommend, it is about her and her time, like starting doing a film festival, and I just rewatched that as well, by the way, over in I think it was Vancouver. But she was been into the horror scene from a young age. And if you've never seen Satellite Horror, the documentary, it is about her and it is fantastic.
Satellite Horror. Yeah, I don't know.
Celluloid.
Celluloid Horror. Okay, got it.
That's my Canadian accent. See, I talk too fast, Brian. But it's really good. I started watching the documentary. I remembered that I'd watched Celluloid Horror, really loved it. Went back and watched it again. And now I'm still got a little bit left of the documentary again because it's like over 3 hours long, right? The folk horror documentary is fantastic though.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I haven't dove in is because of the length, and that's not in a bad way, but it's just like when I see 3 hours, I'm like, I want to put in 2 movies in that slot, but when you have one really great quality documentary, obviously it's well worth spending that time. I just always end up so sort of splintered in my attention.
It's going to make you want to buy, like if you got the box set, you're fan.
I did.
Good, perfect.
Yeah,
I don't yet. Us poor guys don't have them yet.
Somebody send Aaron that box because that needs to happen. Like that's clearly an Aaron box and clearly something that we need to hear you talk about in detail because it's so overwhelming. Just I've opened it up and looked at it and been like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff here. Wow.
It's the Criterion of horror boxes.
Yeah,
it's the Criterion of horror box sets. It looks and it's gorgeous. And once you start watching this documentary, if you don't have the movies, you're going to want to watch every single one of the movies as they go through them. Some and they talk about like all the classics too, like the especially like Blood on Satan's Cloud and Vi and all the fantastic films that you've seen throughout the years. Eyes of Fire is mentioned on there.
That's one I'm dying to see. I know Elric really likes that movie, and I've been dying to see that one for years, and it wasn't really available until that release. So I'm very psyched.
Says that Elric's got good taste. He's got a lot of similar tastes to me. So they
yeah, he does okay. He does all right with his taste. You guys definitely align for sure. I've definitely noticed that. In the chat, Sina Arcadia said about books. I have Going to Pieces and would recommend that. Haven't read Blood Money. So Going to Pieces, another book. I don't know.
Oh, Going to Pieces. Not just a book. It actually became a movie afterwards.
Oh, nice.
So it was a slasher. One of the first like actual slasher documentaries that was done. There's a follow-up book to Going to Pieces as well. I can't remember the name right now, so I'm sure Sina Arcadia will know. But he did a follow-up book to it. Also, Justin Kurzweil put out a good slasher book.
I gotta get that.
I do have. My dad got it for me for Christmas around a year or two ago. So that's a really good one too. It's got nice. Like the creepy looking mask on. I love it. And yeah, books are my bag, guys. I read as much as I watch, especially lately. I find like in between like watching films, I got to find some way to wind myself down. So if I'm not in front of here trying to make this my camera work and see this with the lack of hair, a lot of it because of this, because this right here. No, actually the grayness though is definitely because of this. I was making a video on OBS Studio today and 4 hours, man. 4 hours.
4 hours. So just some technical issues with that one.
Yeah, like it's me. I'm still working through different things and going through different. I had like 3 or 4 like different like video setups for OBS, but it kept knocking it back to another. I'd be talking, and what's supposed to be showing on the screen wasn't showing on screen. Was set up from the video before. So after the 4th time of doing this damn video, I was like, through this, there's a couple seconds here and there. So I'm going to leave that in. I'm going to make it part of the video. And I just went with it.
Did you put that one out, or is that coming out?
That's on. It just was put out just before we started talking on Patreon, because that's definitely NSFY. Not safe for YouTube.
Okay, good. Got it. Okay, cool. What can you, just so people, plug that video so people can check it out on your Patreon if they want to join up? Like briefly, what is that studio and what is that video about?
The video is actually which adult franchise to choose from Vinegar Syndrome. It talks about Pretty Peaches, Babyface, and the Taboo series.
Awesome. Okay, great. Yeah, people should totally join up and check that out. I'm going to check that out after we're done here. Let's see. What else? Oh, so you've been watching the documentary. What else have I got here? I've got well, here's something I'll just do real brief because I've talked about them on the channel, but I just finished interviewing Elijah Drenner, and he is one of the co-founders of Decanalog, which is one of the partner labels that's not getting enough love, in my opinion, over at Vinegar Syndrome. And so I'm going to put the video interview up on my channel tomorrow, but I already talked about their films, and it's really cool. I'm just going to briefly touch on it again, because it's like I said in the video that I did, just going through these titles, it's like going to a cool film festival, because they're all foreign language titles. They're all interesting. My favorite one is Keep an Eye Out, which is a Quentin Dupieux movie, and I'm guessing you've probably seen some of his stuff. I've only seen Rubber. That's the only other.
Actually, Rubber, I think, is the only one that I've seen so far.
Okay, so we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Well, you would dig this. It's like a total absurdist. Elijah told me it's his first. He's French, and it's his first French language film, apparently. And the comedy is like, I guess Monty Python, but more like Buñuel. It's more like that really absurdist, like low key. And it's got the guy from Man Bites Dog is in it. And he looks older and everything, but he plays this cop. So it's like a cop procedural where he's interrogating this guy about a murder, and he's terribly stupid and, ridiculous. And then the interview keeps getting interrupted. And then there's like, he's describing, the guy that's being interviewed is describing what he did that night that led up to him finding this body. And it's crazy, but it's super funny. And I really think you would dig this one. It's pretty.
I think my better half will like that. My better half grew up in Morocco, where French cinema was really prevalent, so she would know the people that are in this film. That was her go-to.
Nice.
It was French cinema, like Shaw Brothers stuff, and
I love it.
And her first, I think, her horror thing was Stage Fright with Michaela Save.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I managed to get it.
That's a cool start.
Didn't that company put out Detention?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Detention was their second release. Now, here's the other thing for people that are, and I talked about this in the interview with Elijah, this stuff, I think these two especially will be on sale. I think he thinks during the sale, because they're February and prior. So I think if you get keep an eye out in Detention during the sale, you're going to get hooked on what they've got going, because it's such an interesting mix. But yeah, Detention, really cool. Like Elijah said, like, he called out like Devil's Backbone, and it's cool, creepy stuff. It's like it's a story of like Taiwan in the 60s when they had sort of a lockdown on books, and if you read banned books, you could get executed or something, or taken away. And there's a monster in it that's very Del Toro-y, and it's based on a video game, I guess, or something.
It is actually based on a Korean game, I think.
I've never played that.
Really, really good. That's one that I was so excited to get, and it got actually named. So the company, big props. That was named one of the releases of the year when it came out on a couple sites. So that was actually a bit of a big deal with that.
Nice, and I didn't even catch that. But yeah, it's a really great release, and they've got a couple others. This one called Two Lottery Tickets, which is like a Romanian character comedy. It's actually got 2 movies on it. Really good. And then another one called Take Me Somewhere Nice, which is kind of like a Jarmusch film, but like a little darker. It's about this girl who goes to visit. She's in the Netherlands. She goes to visit her cousin in Bosnia to go and visit her dad who's in the hospital. And so it's very Stranger Than Paradise-y kind of, but then it starts to go much darker in some ways than Jarmusch.
Darker than Jarmusch?
Yeah, I mean, like, because I feel like Jarmusch ultimately, yeah, there's some really dark stuff there, but like, there's also a lot of light comedy throughout, and this has some of that, but then it just has, because it's about this young girl, it's just some darker stuff to it. And this has a bunch of shorts from this same director. What's her name? Anna. Oh boy, yeah, she's got a name I definitely can't pronounce. But the shorts are great too. So anyway, definitely check out Decanalog. I just feel like people are not as aware of them, and because there's so much over at the partner label tab, that I'm afraid people are not going to be digging deep on all of them during the sale. But this is definitely I think wet your beak on. Keep an eye out in detention during the sale would be my recommendation.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, from what I heard, it's going to be like pre-February, like, so January and back is going to be what the sale is.
Yeah.
But that being said, guys, those are excellent titles. Now, I'm going to mention one that I actually did a review for, but not a lot of people saw this review, because I watched this on Shudder and I absolutely fell in love with this movie, and I've watched it around again 3 times.
Oh wow!
I could use to watch other movies, but if I like a movie, then I like a movie. And Superhost, I super liked. Have you seen Superhost yet?
I have not seen. This is on Shudder right now.
It's on Shudder right now.
Okay,
So,
Superhost. Tell me about it.
God did Z. It's definitely comedy horror. There's these two vloggers, and they vlog like going to different houses and, like, staying different houses and stuff like that. But lately, their viewership, the rate have been going down, and the girl is super anxious about it. The guy is actually preparing to ask her to marry him. So they go to this place, and the code doesn't work to get into the house. Then this girl shows up, who is friendly and cheery to a scary degree, who lets them into the house, and things just spiral from there. It's really well done. Barbara Crampton has a small part, but a really good part in the film. So keep an eye out for her within it. There's only like really 4 to 5 actors in the entire film, and it is genius. It gave me a feeling of a lighter version of a movie called Creep that Creep 2, I guess, was a bit lighter. But this, it definitely had the feeling of that. And I really want to watch more. Like, I love this type of horror, especially right now, where things have been like a bit stressy on me. If I can find these lighter, kind of fun horror films, I really want it. And the girl that plays the lead, because most of the cast is Canadian, but the girl that plays the lead, actually one member of the cast is from Newfoundland, where I'm from, actually. That plays the lead, the Superhost girl, is from Texas. And she is so good. She is so good in this movie that I'm like, oh, yeah, I want to see more of this actress. And if they can find a way to do more Superhosts, I'm down for a part 2.
Like, if becomes a franchise of some kind,
I would be so down for that.
So is this
I didn't think it was going to be franchise out, and it did. And I was like, yeah, Creep 2 is actually better than Creep, and I like Creep. So,
so is a movie from this year? Yes, 2022. I just found it on Letterboxd. All right, I'm adding this to my watch list. Thank you. Very nice. Okay.
The only thing I regret is when I made the review, I didn't do this. The shit, the crazy, like waving that she does in the movie.
So she's like full on like crazy vlogger YouTuber type.
Well, she's not the vlogger. She's the one that basically, she's the one that's they're renting the house from.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And she's, she says, I want to make sure everything's good, and I want to make sure I'm a good super, so I don't want to get a bad review.
Oh, crazy!
Even if you watch the trailer, like, it gives away a bit.
Okay, I'm not going to watch it. You've sold me. I don't need to see it.
It's not going to be a hard film to guess, but it's just a fun ride.
Nice, very cool. Superhost. I'm into that. Okay, what do we got next here? Maybe some stuff I haven't talked about. I watched part of this new one from Canadian International Pictures. It's a double feature where you have Buster Keaton Rides Again, which is like from 66. Yeah, 66. And then you have Helicopter Canada, which is from 65. Now, are you familiar with Helicopter Canada or this one? I'm assuming.
Yeah, Helicopter Canada. I'm very familiar with actually. That's it reminds me of in a way. Remember when like Disney would do those like goofy cartoons, and they'd be those instructional ones, and the
Oh
guy would
yeah,
be sardonic with the voice.
I
That's what
love
Helicopter
those.
Canada reminds me of. Because you get like this gorgeous like scenery from like Canada from that time period, and you also get like that the host who's very tongue in cheek with the way that he's describing a lot of the stuff. Um, yeah, if you're Canadian, you'll love it. If you're not Canadian, you'll still dig it as well. And the Buster Keaton one is a great look at a genius. Unfortunately, like just shortly before he passed away, actually, I think
Yeah,
he died the next year, right?
yeah, I think
Uh,
so. It felt like to me like bits of almost like a Frederick Wiseman movie in terms of you're just sitting back there with him and the director as they talk about the creative process of making this movie. And it's really great to see him collaborating with Buster Keaton, obviously, as you would. Like, why wouldn't you, get sage advice from Keaton? In fact, there's a bit in the movie where he wants to do a specific kind of joke where the whole joke, it's for a movie called Rail Rodder, which is like a 25-minute color short that they made, which I haven't watched the short yet. But one of the jokes is like he just gets on this runaway like train car thing, and it's just him cruising around on this thing and just them setting up jokes for that. And one of the jokes he wants to do is like crossing this really tall trestle, and he wants to fumble with a map and be lost in the map. And I don't know if the director was worried it might be too dangerous or whatever, but he tried to do this other thing where he's like folding his laundry because he sort of goes across the trestle and chases three other guys on little like train car things, and they jump off the track and get into these little houses, these little garages. And so they don't do his idea initially, and he's sort of like pouty about it, and then they finally come back and do it. And it's pretty hilarious just to see him behind the scenes. He's very funny and he's still very with it. And yeah, I really liked it. It's really good.
You know what's really cool about it too is that for a silent star, he's got a great voice.
I love his voice.
Yeah, and that's that killed so many silent stars was when they open their mouth.
Yeah.
I still remember watching not too long ago with my cousin. There was a Twilight Zone episode with Buster Keaton in it.
Oh, I need to see it. Have I seen that one? Now I'm trying to
It
think.
starts in like silent times, and he gets this like time traveling like thing in his head. And he goes into like the present, I guess, at that time, and he does not like the way things are like, and the way it's shot like a silent film at the beginning. So you get like the words kind of come up on the screen. It's not him speaking. Like oh, steak now 5 cents. That's that's outrageous. When it goes to present times, it's actually speaking. That's done with a different type of layout. It's really well done.
That's cool. No, I do remember him with the thing on his head for some reason, but I can't remember that episode as well. What else have you been watching, sir? I'd love to hear what you're watching.
The last thing that I watched aside from that would have been because I'm watching a ton of documentaries. I'm trying not to do all documentaries here.
You can do as many documentaries as you want. I'm curious.
I watched a few Peter Sellers films recently. Some of the older stuff. I watched Hoffman again, and I really enjoy that. I think that's like one of the films that people don't mention enough. And I watched That's All Right, Jack. But I'm trying to think of something else that I watched. That's going to be more exciting to actually.
Oh no, this is all, dude. Anything you're watching, I'm curious about. I like That's All Right, Jack. By the way,
it's such a cool one.
Yeah.
I had that Anchor Bay box set.
Yep.
The other one, I still have that. And people always say, "Well, I don't buy only buy Blu-ray. Or 4K. I don't buy any DVDs or any of that stuff." You're missing so much that just hasn't come to Blu-ray or 4K because there's so much out there that just fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
And that's why we still buy DVDs, and that's why people bought like 40-something Severin DVDs recently. I did watch Child's Play again.
Oh, nice. How'd it hold up?
It holds up well. I went to a crate digger sale, and that's where basically my record store has a sale where everything there, boxes, movies, whatever, that they bring out are $1. So I own this already. And the Scream Factory edition, and I have the Umbrella edition. But at $1, yes, I bought it again.
They had the Scream Factory for $1?
for $1. Yeah, so I'm like, yes,
Wow.
I'll buy a second copy of this one for $1.
Yeah, you can't not for $1.
So I rewatched it. I remembered why I fell in love with this in the first place. When I saw this in the theater, me and my cousin and my dad and maybe 2 other people were in the entire theater. And I'm thinking, this is such a good movie, and this is going to bomb. What a shame. Nobody's ever going to know what this is because nobody's going to see it. But apparently they did. And this, I love the Child's Play franchise altogether. I don't like, a lot of people don't like Seed. I like Seed. I think Seed is funny as hell. I like the TV series that came out recently. I am not as big a fan of the remake, I guess we're going to call it, or the alternate universe version, because although I think it's casted pretty well, I love Aubrey Plaza. I will watch anything that Aubrey Plaza's in.
Same.
And I think that Mark Hamill does a great job as the voice of Chucky. Here's my issue: is that when you take your film and your concept is literally the same concept as a part of an episode of Simpsons Trios of Horrors, where basically, oh look, he's on bad. There, you got him put on bad, because it makes no sense. Basically, there's an inhibitor chip, guys, in the doll, and so this guy's overworked, so he takes out the inhibitor chip and jumps out a window and kills himself. So the doll's kind of learning on his own, and they watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. So that, for some reason, makes them say, you know what? Well, I guess violence is fun and funny and a way to do things. Yeah, there's some good sequences in that film, like when Aubrey Plaza's on the scene. I'm there. I'm watching this film, and there's a really nice, almost heartbreaking scene where the doll really wants this boy to like him, who's kind of too old for this doll, to be honest with you. They casted someone who was a little bit old for the role, and he's like singing this like nighttime song. And it's a really nice sequence. It's too bad that everything around it is pretty crappy. But the original Child's Play still works today. It is a great film. I watched this one, and after I watched it, I got in the mood to see another Sarandon film. So I dug out, even though it was packed away, the Twilight Time edition of Fright Night.
Oh,
and
nice.
I rewatched that. And Fright Night is one of my favorite movies of all time, one of my favorite vampire films. And it's definitely my favorite of the modern vampire films. And yes, that does include Lost Boys, which a lot of people wrongly put over Fright Night. Hot take: Fright Night is so much better with such a great cast. And
Agreed.
Lost Boys, as good as it is, it does lean into the soundtrack a bit to sell the movie. And I do like Lost Boys, so don't think I don't. I'm not hating.
No, same here. But yeah, Fright Night, the superior film for sure.
For real. You can't say Fright Night and not say that. Say that line afterwards.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Chris Sarandon. Just riffing on that. I'm watching some stuff for the new calendar episode for the new Beverly that we're going to do for Pure Cinema. They just released their calendar for June, and one of the movies they're showing is Dog Day Afternoon, which I had forgotten. Chris Sarandon is the sort of lover of the Pacino character, and the reason that he's doing the robbery is to get some money for a sex change operation for the Chris Sarandon character. And I forgot how good Chris Sarandon is in the movie. And he shows up very late. The cops get a hold of him eventually and bring him down. And he's been in a hospital and he's a little disoriented, but he's so good. And they just have like a few scenes where Sarandon's talking to Al Pacino on the phone while he's in the bank. And they're just really great scenes. Like I just forgot how good Sarandon is. Like the Lipstick Blu-ray that came out from Scream Factory recently has a nice interview with Sarandon, and it's a tough role. If you've seen, I'm sure you've seen Lipstick. If people have seen that, that's a tough role for Sarandon. But I just forgotten like that he was hot. Like I think of Fright Night as like one of his big movies, but obviously he was doing stuff in the 70s that got him attention, and Dog Day was like a big one for him.
Yeah, like he was a character actor.
Yeah.
And it was a big character actor, like in demand. He did a lot of like really good roles. And if you go back and you follow like the stuff that he did, he was always stellar in it. There's actors that like that, unfortunately, back in the day that just 2 years later don't get their don't get the love. Remember Dwight Fry back in those early Universal films? Back then, nobody cared who Dwight Fry was. Now it's a big deal that he's Renfield. He does really good in these style roles. And Edward Von Sloan, who was like Edward Von Sloan in whatever he's in. No hating for so just being honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Lipstick's a fantastic film. Dog Day Afternoon is one of my favorites, and I got that here twice by accident. Actually, I bought it the special edition DVD of it back in the day, and I think I got it on like Academy Award set as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I love that film.
Yeah, it's great, and I'd forgotten how good it actually is. And I'm pretty sure there's a Blu-ray of it, just a regular Warner's Blu-ray, but I couldn't find my Blu-ray. I had to watch it on Vudu last night. But I want to check out the features because I'm assuming do you remember if there was like a Lumet commentary or anything like that, or interviews with him?
There's a second disc. I know there's a second disc.
Oh yeah, it's one of those two-discers. Yeah.
Two-disc set. So it's been, unfortunately, it's in one of those boxes. It's so weird. I mean, like I was doing a video the other day. I wanted to get you on for, by the way, the What Scares Me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we can talk about that whenever you want. We could do that whenever.
And like he's going around and like you with all the movies in the background. And I'm like my empty shelf over there, right? One thing I do have here's something. Won't be able to see this on radio, but when I was a kid, my grandparents decided that I should have a instrument. And
what is that?
Was this accordion?
Oh, nice.
So you really Yankovic fans, yes, I had the accordion. But the killer part was they left it as a surprise for me for when I was going to go to school for show and tell. And so we got the perfect thing for you for show and tell. I'm like, oh, what's the coolest? Is this like an action figure? My grandparents never bought action figures, didn't agree with them. But is this going to be an action figure? Is it going to be something really, really cool? And I'm like, it wasn't. It was like an accordion. So I went to school with an accordion, and that's how I met my. Like I really got to know who was my best friend at the time. Althorpe High School too. His name was Jamie, and he was the father. He was the son of the principal. So of the high school. So he had a lot of people picking on him. And that day he came over to me and he said, "Oh yeah, tell me about the accordion." When everybody else was looking at like these ties and trucks and all this type of stuff, like he was just being super nice. And later on that day, I was walking home from school and he was getting beaten up by somebody that I knew. So, and I'm like a scrawny little kid, as like the scrawny elf that I am, and so I'm there. Okay, why don't you just hit me instead? Leave him alone, hit me. So the guy says, okay, yeah, and so Jamie gets up, and the guy starts the guy I know, but he starts kind of pounding into me a bit, and he's like, "You're no fun." You're supposed to cry. I'm like, "I'm sorry, dude." So then we all became friends.
No, wow. Even the bully guy.
Yeah. So we because we're in the same, I think he was in the class above us, but we used to play a lot of touch football. And if you ever play touch football when you're a kid, it's touch football for 20 seconds. Yeah. Then you go "Oh, I touched you. No, you didn't. I didn't feel you touch me. Jump."
Tackle.
So yeah, there it goes.
Nice. That's cool. I'm glad that the friendship was born out of an accordion. Weird Al would be proud.
There you go, right?
Maybe before we go, if you want to talk about, do you have anything, not a to watch pile, but if there's stuff on digital or whatever you're looking forward to watching, or if there's more documentaries, I'm just curious to hear all that stuff. I've got 2 discs in this pile that I can talk about. I'm looking forward to watching. But
well, right now I because everything I'm doing a lot of reading right now. Yeah. So for those that don't know, I collect comic stuff. I collect omnibuses as well. So I just picked up Jason Aaron's Thor, which is the seminal run for Thor, for modern Thor. And if you've ever seen the trailers for the new movie coming out, Blood, what's it, Love and Thunder, then that's based off of Jason Aaron's mighty Thor run. So I'm reading that right now. As for watching wise, when I get a chance to do it in between making videos, It's usually something on Shutter, or I've been watching. I want to watch. I think it's called Severance on Apple Plus.
Oh yes, definitely highly recommended. My wife and I watched it. Loved it. Great
I
show.
did watch Senior. What's it called? Senior Year with Rebel Wilson.
Oh,
And screw the haters. That was fun.
okay. I'll check
So
it out.
way better than like. And I was kind of worried because like, oh, this is one of those Netflix movies. This is gonna be like Dog Girl, isn't it? But no, it's really funny.
Cool. No, I'm a big fan of hers, and so it looked fun. But there's so much content these days that especially TV. Severance was a rare show that I've watched. We are actually also watching Russian Doll finally right now. I missed the first season, and then the second season came out, and so my wife and I started the first season, which is great. I don't love the second season quite as much, but still I love Natasha Lyonne. Great concept for a show. Good show. I'm digging that for sure.
Have you ever seen the second season? I love the first season. And what I am watching though, and I will mention this, and this is going to totally make me lose cred with some people, but I don't care because this is me. I'm watching some Riverdale.
Oh yeah, I like Riverdale. I haven't watched it in a while, but I was digging it when it first was on.
They have superpowers now.
Oh my god! See, I've totally missed this.
They have totally gone into like they were going back and forth on okay, this is kind of campy and kind of cheesy, and I think they're ending it next season anyway. But they said at the end, so they said, well, why don't we give them superpowers and have them fight against the apocalypse type thing? And I'm like, thank you. This is what you should have been doing about 2 seasons ago when you're taking yourself just a little too seriously still.
Very nice. Okay, well, I got to get back into Riverdale. Clearly, that's the next thing. One of the things I have to watch is the new Coca-Cola Kid from Fun City. I'm very excited to check this out. I don't remember if I've seen it.
Great.
It's great. Yeah, that's what I mean. I know the director. I know Dusan Makayev, and I just can't remember a lot of the Eric Roberts movies. I don't want to say they run together, but some of them I don't remember as well. And I watched them when I was a little younger. And this might be one of those, but I also get it mixed up with the Flamingo Kid with Matt Dillon. And I know it's very different from that. So I don't know. I'm excited though, because obviously if Jonathan's, putting it out, he's a fan of it. And, he's been doing a great job with that stuff. So
Everything Fun City Editions put is fantastic.
Yeah, he's just killing it.
And that's very Australian. And it's got the Australian like humor sensibility. And I really, really love that.
Nice. No, yeah, this one definitely excited about it and really excited that did you see he announced Cutter's Way?
Yeah. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. No, I can't wait. He's actually one of the first people I ever knew that liked Cutter's Way. And I like Cutter's Way so much I even picked up the imprint version of it.
Yeah.
But even though I had the Twilight Time version.
They look so sexy, man, those imprint titles.
They're great, man. They're really just doing some really great stuff. And they just announced some new titles today. They announced the new Essential Film Noir box set and Secret of the Incas, which is a Charlton Heston movie that was an influence on Raiders that I dig. But yeah, they're really killing it, man. I don't know. I wish they were a little easier to get, but they're doing some great work. Anything else you've been watching or you want to watch?
Actually, because you mentioned imprint, yeah. I've been watching Space 1999 over again.
Oh, nice.
I do want the imprint edition of that because it's so good. I'm a huge fan of Space 1999. For me, it's a sacrilege again, guys. It's over Trek. It's over Star Wars. Space 99 is my favorite.
Wow.
First season of Space 99 is incredible. It's a horror. It is definitely a horror-centric series in the first season. Second season, they bring in a lot of American producers from like Star Trek, and it screws it up. Like big time. Like there's still some good stuff in it, but it just doesn't have the match with the quality. Now I watched was it Death's Dominion? The episode where basically, and I'm giving spoilers here, guys.
For Space 99.
This like planet, which is an ice planet, and there are these people there, and one of the actors is Brian Blessed, who, if you know Brian Blessed, oh man, incredible actor, or very big, broad, loud actor. He was in like Flash Gordon, the movie, the 80s film. But anyway, so he's in this, and this is before he became like the loud Brian Blessed character that he is. But he's basically a scientist, and they've all been there since 1986. For some reason, this planet has made them immortal. Exactly, the King from Blackadder, Matt. You're right. uh, but um, but they keep trying to like. Koenig doesn't believe. Koenig's the captain. He doesn't like think that these should be going to this planet. He feels something's off. He doesn't know what, but he knows that some experiments were done and some people just didn't survive or are left like in another part of the cave, kind of brain dead, and he just doesn't trust it. So he has a face off with the main scientist, Brian Bless. And he said, okay, so there's not enough people on Alpha, that's their, their spaceship, that we can actually have people leave and come here to, to live, to be immortal. So we're gonna go up there and you can tell your story and I'll tell mine, and the person, well, and then they'll decide, and whatever they decide democratically, that's what I'll go with. If everybody says we want to go down here and be immortal on this island, on this planet, we will. So they go off. So Brian Bless gets in. He sits in the back with the female character, Barbara Bain. I can't remember the name of her character's name now. She's the scientist, and so we see him like put his hand on her hand, kind of like just to hold her hand where he's getting in the spaceship for the first time, Brian Bless character. And then we see Koenig and Carter, two of the main characters, talking in the front. And we hear a horrific scream come out as the ship is taken off. They go in the back and they see Brian Bless' character is nothing but like skeleton and melted flesh.
Oh my gosh.
He was immortal as long as he was on the planet, but the cold and the ice has become part of his physiology. So it was a really, really good episode.
That sounds awesome.
So yeah, definitely. I'm guessing you probably got the imprint. Like
I do, and I'm totally got to check that episode out for sure.
Yeah. There's another one about a guy that stars actually Gianni Garco. Who's a fantastic talent actor. He's in one episode, which is considered one of the scariest episodes ever put on television, and it's on that series. And it's basically, I know I won't give too much of this one away, but he was on a ship, an exploratory like mission, and he was the only person to come back. The other people didn't make it, and he mentions this creature that had attacked them, but nobody believes them. And the creature may seem a little bit hulkier today and just a nod, but it still works to the point where I had like trading cards for Space 1999.
Nice.
And I had a trading card with the creature on it. And I took it and I put it in I didn't want to get rid of it, but I took it and put it in my closet and put it face down and hid it underneath something so I wouldn't accidentally look through it when I was looking through my other Space 1999 trading card. So there you go.
Nice. I love that. Well, I got one more disc, and then maybe we can. I haven't been paying attention to the comments, so we can go through the comments and then call it a day if you want. But the last one is the Doris Wishman set from AGFA, Twilight Years. Very exciting set. One of I think their biggest set today. They're only. Have they done a box set proper yet?
No, I mean, like, not that I can think of. I mean, like, the Something Weird. I know the team Something Weird. Something Weird used to do a lot of box sets, but
yeah,
it's the first AGF one that I know about.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a single set, but it's got 3 discs in it and nice booklet. And it's got what do you got? Deadly Weapons, Double Agent 73.
Oh yeah.
The Amazing Transplant and Let Me Die a Woman. The Immortal 3, and Keyholes Are for Peeping. This is her Twilight Years set. So these are like 70s films, all of them, I think. Yeah. And a bunch. I've only seen Deadly Weapons and Double Agent 73.
Well, we had to see those. Chesty Morgan, man.
Yeah. So do you know any of the others on here? Do you recommend any specifically?
I've seen most of the films that are on that set, but it's been a while. But yeah, I definitely recommend anything on that set. I think Love Tie's on the set as well too, right?
Yeah, I believe so. That's Love Toy. Yeah, that's the last one. Yep.
Yeah, but there's like it's a really I need to get that set too. I didn't know it was out yet, to be honest with you. I knew that
it's just shipping now, I think. I want to say. I'm not sure. Or maybe it's but yeah, I mean it's all looks like all 2K restorations from 35 cam negatives and you got commentaries and with Doris Wishman biographer Michael Bowen. And all kinds of good stuff. So it's a really nice set from AGFA. Do you want to you've been paying more attention to the comments. I was gonna skim back through these and see if there's anything in here um,
So
that's
the latest
interesting.
counts are big one. They're top 3 Vinegar Syndrome released just off the top of your head that you think people should pick up and sell.
Oh, that is a good question. You go first. You're better at this stuff.
A Woman Tormented. Woman's Torment. That's Roberta Finley. It has an R-rated and an X-rated one. So if you don't like X-rated films, that's okay. There's an R-rated cut, which is her preferred cut. If you've ever seen and liked the movie Repulsion, it's kind of Roberta Finley's version of that. What makes this movie stand apart is it has an actress that I don't think did anything or didn't do much afterwards. There's just some enigmatic it factor from that actress that I would 1,000,000% recommend. If you want something like super cheesy and fun and crazy, then the very first Vinegar Syndrome title I ever picked up was Night Train to Terror. It is an anthology film with 3 stories, which are really 3 films that were kind of put together. And the neat thing is, one of the anthology stories, Greta, the second one, actually has the complete film on the as a bonus feature, and the complete film is fascinating, and it puts a whole new eyes and concept to the whole what Greta is. And it may again another one where the girl only acted in that and acted in nothing else afterward. And I was super fascinated with finding out what the hell happened, because she had kind of an it factor that I really dug. I'm trying to pick some earlier ones here because I know people are going to pick some big like later day stuff. So let's go with I'm not gonna do that one. Let's go with one that not a lot of people are going to choose, but I'm going to choose it because it's strange and weird, and so am I. But do I want to go with that? I'm trying to decide. I want to go with it. I do like Stacey Hadiak, so I'm kind of thinking about it. No, not going to go with it. You're going to figure out what it is. There's one with Stacey Hadiak from Superboy, and if you're a soap opera fan, Days of Our Lives, and I think Young the Restless too. If you can figure out what that film is, come on. Yeah.
I'm at a loss, man. I don't know that one.
Oh, you trust me, you got it. But it's a good film. But for like a third one, oh god, just because people don't tend to talk about this one a lot, and it's a real shame. Paul Schrader's Patty Hearst. I'm not quite
Good call.
sure why nobody's mentioning this when it's a Paul Schrader film put up by Vinegar Syndrome. It's an excellent film with some fantastic acting, and it just like people didn't blink. Oh, Paul Schrader's coming on Vinegar Syndrome. Oh yeah, that's cool. That was a big deal to me, and that made me know at that point, Vinegar Syndrome they're going in a different direction now. They're making some moves that I'm kind of interested in seeing, and that's paying off this year. I think not so much last year. Beginning of last year was fantastic. End of last year, when I had a subscription, wasn't the best. But I got to say, this year, do you have a subscription this year?
Through the end of the year, yeah.
Yeah. So this year's been way better.
It's been pretty good.
Insane. So yeah, those are my 3.
Okay. I was just going through the site looking for my 3. All right. My one I've definitely recommended in different videos before is Shot from what year is that from? 73. It is kind of almost like a student film shot in Illinois, and it's like this. I don't want to put it down by saying it's like the student film version of The French Connection, but it's kind of that, so it's a lower budget film made by some film students, I think in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois. And it's just got like a great energy to it and a great vibe and a higher production value than you would expect. It's kind of like I've compared it to like the Max Fisher Players version of The French Connection, because it's like it's still that sort of cheesy acting, but the production is higher than you would expect. Like you don't know how, for instance, how they're able to get a helicopter for this movie and how they're able to do some of the chase scenes and stuff they do. Kind of surprises me. So I think that one's really fun. There's no slip cases left, but there's still versions of that left. Another one would be, is the Homegrown Horrors going to be, that's old enough, right?
Yeah, those going to sell.
Okay. I don't know about all of them, but I loved. Is it Beyond Dream's Door? I think is just a really, really great regional, low budget horror about this guy. This director's name is Jay Wolfel, and it's about this guy who's having these nightmares, and the nightmares start to intrude on reality where there's like monsters like chasing him sort of, and it starts to kill people in his real life. And it's for this kind of budget, it's kind of creepy and well done. The effects are pretty good, and it's actually kind of unnerving. Did you like this one? I can't remember if you're a fan.
I don't own that one yet.
Oh, don't have the okay. I'd be very curious to hear what you think of Beyond Dream's Door, because it feels like something you would dig, I think.
Oh yeah, like that set I desperately want.
Yeah.
Like even like people like say it's Fail Exam, I don't care. I want all of them.
Yeah. No, I haven't watched Fail Exam yet because of the length also. But Winter Beast is pretty nuts. So like you have two that I know for sure are bangers. And Fail Exam, I'm actually, I shouldn't be so down on it. Like I should just watch it. I'm sure it's gonna be fun. And then the last one of the three for me would be The Caller.
Thank you.
You like that one, right?
I love that film. It's one of the best they put out.
Yeah, it really truly is. Like among the best movies. Like Patty Hearst, I think, is definitely one of the best movies they've put out the entire time. And The Caller is like, I don't want to. It's tough to tease without getting into. You don't have to get exposed. But basically, the idea is that there's this woman. She lives in a remote like cottage, and Malcolm McDowell plays this guy who comes to her house and says his car is broken down and can he use the phone? And she lets him in, but she's like very nervous about it. And they sort of have this cagey, getting to know each other stuff where you're like, what's happening here? And where it goes is completely unpredictable. And there's no way, I don't think there's any way you could know where.
No, I mean, like anybody that tells you that, oh yes, I guess the ending, you're a liar.
No way. It's because it's so interesting where it goes, and I don't want to say anything more than that. But like, it's just this psychosexual back and forth between the two of these actors, and it's one of those like it's almost like a stage play, but it's better because it's well directed and they are just great together. And yeah, so I think The Caller is definitely one of my favorite Vinegar Syndrome releases for sure.
And then it's got such like coming from an acting standpoint, because that was what that was going to be my gig. That's what I was going to do.
Yeah,
it is such a brilliant like piece for an actor that I can see Malcolm McDowell being extremely excited for this. And little side note, it's written by Michael Sloan, who wrote like a lot of television stuff, especially for Canadian television, and created a little show called Equalizer with Edward Woodward.
Nice.
So yeah, and if you remember Equalizer, it was this super like kind of, it was like revenge spy kind of cool show, and it was dialogue heavy, but in the good way, because you had Edward Woodward and you could like pull off these big grandiose speeches. And Michael Sloan was like, yep, I'm going to write him in there. I'm writing in some speeches. There's an episode where Edward Woodward's character on Equalizer is basically he has to kill somebody, and he's just getting to know this girl in a relationship. And they go to she's always asked him about what he does, and he kind of is going away from it. And near the end of the episode, they're in like a cafe, and he's like, what you always ask me what I do, and so I have to kill people sometimes. And it breaks down a bit. But it's been a long time since I've seen it, but that always stood out to me.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do Equalizer again now since watching The Wicker Man. I was like, God, I used to love that show. So I really got to come back to it. But yeah, I mean, that's probably a good enough place for this live episode to end. Aaron, thank you so much for being willing to just jump on like this. And I knew if there was anybody that could just go with this kind of parameters, I knew it was you. And it was wonderful talking to you, sir.
The same. Again, thank you so much, because this whole thing has been a bit crazy for me. I'm in a whole new wheelhouse now that I'm still getting used to.
Yeah.
But hopefully, things go well. Fingers crossed. And thanks so much for having me on here. So
it's my pleasure. And folks, definitely, I'm a member of Aaron's Patreon, and I do highly recommend it. He puts a lot of time and effort into these, and he plugs it here himself. But like, here, coming from somebody who's an actual Patreon of his, I can't recommend it enough. It's one of my favorite Patreons out there. I love Aaron. I love what he does. I love his channel, and so the Patreon is just an extension of that. And now is the time to be supporting him, because it's really the thing. So I'm glad I'm doing it, and everybody else should be doing it. If they watch your live streams and they have any sense of liking you, there's no way that they wouldn't enjoy what you're doing there. So.
And even if you don't like me, do it in a hate way.
Exactly. Do a hate Patreon watch.
There you go. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words there, Brian, especially right now.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
thank you all.
Yeah. Thanks again.